or Die is the fourth film in the now 30-year franchise of the Bad Boys franchise. And once again, after directing the third film, Adil and Bilal are back to direct this new entry. Once again, it is Will Smith as Mike Lowry and Martin Lawrence as Marcus Bennett. And in this movie, they are finally, Mike is the one actually settling down after a near-death experience. At the beginning of the movie, Marcus is now very optimistic and believes he, for some reason, just cannot die in life. And that is kind of their dynamic. But the rubber hits the road, as they say, as in this movie, the character who's played by Joe Pantoliano, the captain in the first three movies after he died in the third movie, is later that he is exposed for talking to and moving money for cartels. And it's up to Mike and Marcus to make sure that that is not his legacy and to make sure that he is not being framed. Back from the third film to help out with this team is Vanessa Hudgens as Kelly, Alexander Ludwig as Dorn, and Rita, played by Paula Nunez. And also back from the movie, from the third film, is Armando, played by Jacob Scipio, who, of course, is Mike's kid from the third film, who's in prison, and he can ID the person who has been messing with them. That person is McGrath, played by Eric Dane. Also into the movie is Ian Grufford as Lockwood. And then a part of the new ensemble as well is Tiffany Haddish, and back from the third film is DJ Khaled. The film is an hour and 55 minutes and is rated R. Welcome back to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinner. If you like talking all things movies, TV, and box office, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. Let's get us to 210 subscribers as quickly as possible. Comment down below, what is your ranking of the Bad Boys franchise? Did you grow up with it? Did you just start getting into it before this movie came out? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. I do respond to all the comments. We've having a lot of good movie conversation, which is the whole point of a community like this. So give me your thoughts, non-spoiler, in the comment section down below. And actually, if you're not going to see it, is Will Smith the slap issue? Is that a reason why you chose not to watch this film? Also, please like the video, the thumbs up button. That's how you support this channel. So for people, I already have reviewed Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys for Life on this channel. If you weren't there for that review, I did, even though this movie, the first film came out in 1995, and the second film came out in the early 2000s, 2003. I did, as a kid, I grew up watching the franchise. It's not one of my favorite action franchises, but I think it's undeniable the chemistry that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence had all the way back in the first two Michael Bay movies. I was very skeptical about doing another one, 17 years after the second film, not Michael Bay. And while I wasn't a big fan of the first two films on a film perspective, I had fun with it, but nothing special. I think Adil and Bilal brought a really good energy, and I think the third one at this point was the best. But this movie is my favorite Bad Boys movie, and that's with someone who has nostalgia for the first two films. This is the most well-made Bad Boys film, the most innovative Bad Boys film. Again, Michael Bay directed the first two films, and I think Michael Bay, either love or you don't. I'm someone who respects Michael Bay. There's definitely some movies in his filmography that I enjoy, and you can kind of see the early tendencies with him because Bad Boys 1 was one of his first kind of big-time movies. But I think Adil and Bilal have really taken what Michael Bay set into place with the first two films and has really grown on it and elevated it, in my opinion. And to start with that, before we get to the actors, I think Adil and Bilal deserve a ton of credit of reviving this franchise. I mean, this franchise, not even a franchise, it's two movies that spanned 8 years, and this was not a franchise that anyone was asking to come back. And obviously Will Smith, by the time these films came out, he became a massive, massive movie star. Martin Lawrence had been very limited in acting over the last 10, 15 years. It was definitely a big risk to go back to the Bad Boys franchise, but it really has paid off. And it's really because Adil and Bilal are fantastic filmmakers. Obviously, they're known for directing the last Bad Boys movie. They directed the first couple episodes of Miss Marvel, but of course, they're most known, sadly, for directing that Batgirl movie that for some reason was so bad in Warner Brothers' eyes that they took a tax cut on it instead of releasing the movie. And it really affected a lot of careers, including their own, in that movie, because the Bad Boys 3 really took them into stardom as directors, that they could be the next directors of another big franchise. They got that chance at Batgirl. Obviously, Zaslav and Warner Brothers did not go through with that after the movie was completely filmed and shot and edited. but they get a second crack at the Bad Boys franchise, and the direction is excellent. And the reason why is that this movie has the best action out of the entire franchise, with drone shots and a couple of POV shots. The movie just throws you into the action in such exhilarating ways that you're captivated by really every action scene. Yes, there's some Michael Bay isms and definitely callbacks that Anil Bilal put together through a directing point of view, but the drone shots, the way they're used, and especially the POV shots, which you've seen online with the Will Smith particular scene, but the action scenes are just tons of fun in this movie. That's to match the action is the comedy. And Mike and Marcus, some of the more iconic, again, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, one of the most iconic duos in action movies, especially if you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. And they have not missed a beat. And before I even go further, I'm not going to get into the Will Smith debate. I'm just saying my point, which is that my life and my love of Will Smith did not end the night he slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. If that, lost you any fans, whatever. It did not make me less respect or love Will Smith. So obviously it wasn't a great look, but it wasn't something that was like, that would affect his career. And I've been shocked that it really has tarnished for a lot of people his career, but he continues to prove why he is, to me, just a movie star. He's one of the rare movie stars we have left. And he's really good in the movie. Martin Lawrence obviously is having tons of fun. And the big reason why is that he was always the one who was settled down with the family, going up against Mike Lowrey, who is he has a mansion, and he's, the more fit, the more he wants to be in the action. And they kind of flip it this movie where Mike is the one who has a wife, wants to settle down, and Marcus is the one who has a near-death experience and thinks he's like untouchable for life now. And that allows a goofball like Martin Lawrence and Marcus, the character of Marcus, to really let loose in this movie. And Martin Lawrence is hilarious in the film, easily the funniest character of the movie. But their dynamic, it's amazing. They've been doing it since '95 in the first film, and they just have insanely great chemistry. It's tough to get this type of chemistry in Hollywood, and Lawrence and Smith have that. Overall, the ensemble is very strong. Eric Dane is excellent in this villainous role as McGrath. They do give him a good enough backstory for reason to be going after Mike, Marcus, and Armando. Jacob Scipio, another guy who has not really broken out since that third Bad Boys film, another part. He was supposed to be in Batgirl. It didn't work out. He's excellent here as Armando, really good. He's kind of the third wheel in this movie with Mike and Marcus, and he has a really kick-ass action scene in a prison. Really, really well done. They also bring this team that they've now built around Mike and Marcus is also the best of the franchise, with Kelly, Dorn, and Rita. Hutchins and Ludwig are really good in the movie as always, as well as Nunez. All of them are good. They all have good chemistry, and it's definitely the best team that the franchise has set. But while it is a team, the movie for the most part centers focusing on Mike and Marcus. But as I said, the movie is hilarious. It has a lot of fun action, and this is not an original movie. You've seen this story before. I think from a story perspective, my main issue is that the third act for me, it felt very overstuffed. While I was fascinated in the Marcus and Mike element and the Armando element, there were a couple other subplots that were going on at the same time. Rhea Seehorn, who's one of the best parts of Better Call Saul, kind of gets a throwaway role, and I really didn't care and knew what was going to happen with that character. The twists and reveals you can kind of see coming a mile away, both from a story perspective and the casting point of view. I knew what the twist was, or the reveal of the movie would be, the first or second scene that this person is in the movie, which definitely took me out of it. And they did add a couple, in my opinion, just unnecessary characters. The character of Christine, and really the character, the Tabitha character played by Tiffany Haddish, especially that character just felt so unnecessary of a scene added into the movie. But overall, this is, for me, the best film of the franchise. I don't really have many complaints. This is the perfect blockbuster film. It's really the right blockbuster film that everyone's been clamoring for. It's a throwback to 90s, early 2000s action film, but with the innovation of today from Anil and Bilal from behind the camera. I think it's the perfect Bad Boys movie and the perfect summer blockbuster that I do think people should be able to go see in the movie theater. So I'm gonna be shocked. It's one of my most pleasant surprises. I was excited to see it, but I'm pumped how much I like this movie. So I'm going to give Bad Boys Ride or Die a 4 out of 5, 75%. What are your thoughts on the newest addition to the Bad Boys franchise? Was it your favorite, or do you still prefer the original two over with Michael Bay than the new two with Adil and Bilal? Well, your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon.